South Africa will take over from Nigeria as the largest economy in the continent of Africa. Yes, my analysts here have been saying it's just for 1 year, but that 1 year is sending a signal, and it's sending a signal to the international communities, sending a signal to international investors, and they are saying if this is the case, it shows that all is not well with the Nigerian economy. Now, let me pose this question now to Bukola. What kind of signal do you think that this is sending to the foreign investors that we are wooing to come and invest in our countries? Does it show that we're actually serious in putting our struggling economy together? Your thoughts on this?
So, while my colleague here said that it's just for a year, because we had a new dispensation, the federal government has started by putting a lot of things together. They have already appointed ministers. We already have quarterly assessments set for the 48 ministers and the ministries in the budget that we are going to be reviewing. We also have a special advisor. There are quite a number of opportunities and reasonable policies that have been put in place. So by the time all of these things are properly executed, then we expect that we'll be back to overthrow this 1 year that South Africa is going to enjoy. I think also the quality of what the federal government is trying to put into place will come a long way in distinguishing where we would be and how far South Africa can hold on to this. South Africa, we also know, has their own issues that they are running after.
Of course, they have power issues
are yet to be addressed. The power supply issues, the logistics bottlenecks, and all other reforms that are yet to be worked upon. So Nigeria, with all the policies and new systems that the federal government is putting into place, will to a long extent help us in stabilizing how we will thrive in the following year.
Talking about policies now, this administration in its over 100 days in office has come up with policies, but these policies seem to be fighting back. We're not seeing the impact of this policy across the economic value chain of the country at the moment. What's your reaction to this, and how long will Nigeria begin to see the impact of this policy so that Nigerians can truly have time to breathe? Over to you now, Charles.
Yes, of course, we allow Nigerians to breathe. Thank God it is still the same party, APC to APC, so one will not say it is because it's a different party and that's why we're having it. Yes, as much as we don't like to go back to the past, the last 8 years was a disaster. We must agree on that. But yet, this new government is coming in place now, and of course, the way they are doing, it shows that they want to really do something. But some of these policies are not overnight thing. You are trying to unify the exchange rate.
Yes.
That is a major problem, and it's really affecting everybody. As we speak, the naira has slided, over 1,000 naira. And that is affecting...
It might get to 2,000 naira, that would like it.
It is affecting the average Nigerian directly on the street.
Yes.
They can feel it, they can see it.
Yes.
Now, you are saying you are a giant of Africa, and South Africa is going to surpass you. Why would South Africa surpass you? Because of the current situation you are going through. Now, what are the things we need to do to stem the trend and ensure that the economy starts to work? One, the political will must be there. The President Tinubu should not just appoint people based on saying you worked for me in the election and I just want to compensate you. I agree with them when they say they're going to be reviewing the performance, but it's not just rhetoric. We want to see it happen. How can you have a country like my colleague have said, you have a lot of crude oil, no one single refinery is working, and you say you want to remain the giant of Africa? It's not possible. Of course, thank God, this same government have told us by December we're going to be seeing refineries to work. So that is in one aspect. Again, another factor, people might not agree with me, but I think corruption in the country has to be faced head on to head on. We can have a situation where we are talking of reviving this economy. Minimum wage, labor is also still fighting with government, and parliamentarians will say this is the time they want to buy luxurious cars. I don't know how much. In fact, I refuse to look at the figures they want to spend.
I think it's
on
about
that.
150 million per legislator.
150 million for 360
Legislators.
persons. For me, with due respect to my brothers, elders, some are even older than, please, if they are really patriotic Nigerians, they should divert those funds to something else. This is not a time. They'll be talking about this. Some of them said the excuse they gave was for their oversight function. I'm telling you, any of you in that National Assembly, you are not poor. You can afford to say, let us make the sacrifice now. As you are telling the average Nigerian, make that sacrifice. You also, some of them had cars when they came. You still collect your allowances. You buy your own cars, fuel it, and do your oversight function. Then when the economy improves, the average Nigerian can now breathe. According to the Senate president, we cannot breathe. Then you cannot begin to think of luxury. For now,
yes,
we don't deserve to give anybody luxury.